The snow fell in gentle sheets outside the quiet diner on the edge of Oak Ridge, Montana. The kind of town where everyone knows your story, and if they don't, they make one up. Ben Callahan sat at the corner booth every Saturday morning. Same time, same coffee, same silence. A single father and widower, Ben had spent the last 3 years raising his son, Jacob, alone after losing his wife in a car accident. He kept to himself, worked construction during the week, and spent his weekends trying to stitch together the pieces of a life that no longer felt whole. He didn't talk much, but people respected his space. Oak Ridge had a way of honoring the broken with quiet distance. But that Saturday morning, something was different. A woman, striking not in glamour but in presence, walked into the diner holding the hands of 2 identical little girls. Her coat was too thin for the weather, her eyes too cautious for a stranger, and her posture stiff, like someone not used to being seen. When their eyes met, Ben looked away, but something in the tremble of her smile made him pause. Her name was Elise. The girls were Maddie and June, 6, with wild curls and eyes too big for their small faces. Word traveled fast. She was the widow of Daniel Reeves, the son of the prominent Reeves family who practically owned half the town. After Daniel died suddenly from a heart condition, Elise had been quietly erased by the Reeve family, disowned for never being good enough, abandoned when she needed them most. No one took her in. No one offered help. Until she showed up at the diner, asking about job boards and rental notices. Ben watched her that day. Not out of curiosity, but recognition. Pain had a way of seeing pain. A week later, after seeing the girls sharing one muffin between them at the diner, Ben did something he hadn't done in years. He invited them over for dinner. His house was small but warm, with a fireplace that smelled like cedar and walls filled with laughter once forgotten. Elise hesitated, but hunger, both literal and emotional, swayed her. The girls played with Jacob like they'd known him forever. Elise helped in the kitchen, their hands brushing once, long enough to wake something neither of them admitted was asleep. And slowly, over shared meals and snowy evenings, their routines began to intertwine. But healing is never a straight line. One evening, Elise received a letter from the Reeves, inviting her to relinquish her claim on Daniel's estate in exchange for a settlement and silence. She considered it. She could use the money. The girls needed shoes. But Ben saw the sorrow in her silence, the way old wounds screamed louder when stirred. "You're worth more than their hush," he told her, his voice softer than she'd ever heard it. "You don't need their name to prove your value." Her tears came quietly that night, but they carried the weight of years of abandonment. For the first time, someone had stood beside her, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. That winter, a fire broke out in the Reeves family barn during a fundraiser. Panic ensued. People scrambled. And amidst the chaos, it was Maddie and June who spotted one of the younger Reeves cousins trapped near the stalls. Without hesitation, Jacob ran in. Elise screamed. Ben followed. Together, they brought the boy out just in time. In the aftermath, the Reeves family stood stunned, not just by the bravery, but by the realization that the woman they had cast out had raised daughters and found a man who showed more family in minutes than they had in years. They offered Elise their name back, their support, their apologies. She declined them all. "I have a home," she said, her hand in Ben's. "It just didn't look the way I thought it would." Spring came slowly, like healing often does. Ben built a treehouse for the girls and taught them how to fish. Elise found part-time work at the local library, where she started a reading program for single parents. Jacob laughed again, freely, fully, like his heart had remembered how. And one April evening, under the shade of the cherry tree Ben had planted with his late wife, he proposed, not with a diamond, but with a hand-carved ring made from cedarwood. "For every scar, a story," he whispered. "And this one's ours." Their wedding wasn't extravagant. Just close friends, a picnic bench, and a lot of shared stories. But it was full of laughter, full of light, full of life. People in town stopped whispering and started believing. That family wasn't always blood. That healing wasn't always loud. That sometimes, the most broken among us become the glue that holds others together. Epilogue. A hopeful heartbeat. Ben often said that Elise and the girls didn't just fill the hole in his life, they planted something new in it. Kindness had given him purpose. Compassion had given him love. And courage had given him back himself. Sometimes, the ones who walk into your life quietly are the ones who end up saving you completely. And sometimes, the heart heals not with time, but with the touch of a hand that's finally safe to hold.